In this screencast, I am going to show you Google Classroom and give a general overview of its features. So starting from my drive, I'm going to click on the grid view, and I need to click on more because the icon is added at the very bottom, and I suspect that will be the case for yours as well. So I also tell the students and teach them that that is the case because when they don't see it up here, they tend to get confused. So I'm going to click on Classroom, and what you are going to see is classrooms I've already established. Okay, so this is what they look like when you go to your home Google Classroom page as a teacher. Okay, so you can see that I have different trimesters. I also have year-long classes. It tells me how many students are enrolled. If I have an assignment that is coming up with a due date, it will indicate that. Otherwise, it won't. If I click here, I can rename it. Also, when I am done with this class, I can archive it and it will hide it from my view. So now I'm going to go into this classroom just as an example. Okay, so here is a sixth grade trimester class that I teach, and this is the general view. Okay, Google is a very basic LMS or learning management system. There are other learning management systems out there as well that are much more robust and dynamic and have more bells and whistles and can do a lot more. So you have to make the decision if this is the right learning management system for you or not. Perhaps this is the way to go if you are new to online teaching or using online tools to submit and to give assignments out to students. So that's just a little note to think about. So let's talk about the stream. The stream is basically like you would see in your Facebook stream or posts, right? This is where things that I have posted will show up. It does go from most current to least current, so the first thing I posted will be at the bottom. Okay. In this, just like Facebook, students have the option, or you can give them the option, to post and create a dialogue. So here's a perfect example. She had a question, I was able to answer it. Okay, this is something that is something you will need to figure out for your class as far as a rule or what the parameters are. Do you want your students to be able to post or not? You can, in the student section here, and this was actually feedback that Google got because they originally did not have this, and teachers were like, we need this. And so they listened and they added this, where you can control. For the most part of my class, I am the only one that posts and adds comments. I don't have my students openly have discussions. I don't really need that for my class. And again, that would be something that you would need to monitor and control as far as etiquette and things like that. So right now it's on post and comment. They can only comment or only, right? You're the one that can post or comment, so you can make that decision. So going back to the stream, you have two options. You have an announcement or an assignment, okay? So right here I have an assignment, okay? Let's go to actually this one that was already done, okay? I have the due date, it's in red, obviously it's passed. This will tell me students that have turned something in versus students that have not, okay? And up here, this is an assignment that has not been done yet. So I can like look here and be like, oh, these are the 27 assignments that haven't been done yet. Great. And I can sort that way by clicking on those two. But let's go to this past assignment. So for this assignment and for many assignments, I create materials in my Google Drive or upload materials into my drive that then I can share and attach to an assignment, which is very straightforward to do. For an assignment, okay, you have different options, and one of the options is, do you want to give each student a copy of this? So if you give each student a copy, they will get it without destroying your original, and they have the ability to outright edit it. The bonus of giving each student a copy is when they're done, they don't have to add and upload a separate file from their drive. They just have to press turn in, which is a great and simple feature. But they do have the option of also adding things to turn in as well. So I'm going to click on this assignment, and this is the teacher view. So in the teacher view, okay, it says that I did return it. Okay, if I click on a student, this is what they turned in, I can look at it. And this is the great thing about being a paperless classroom and going digital, is that it's right there. I can access this anywhere. I could be in Europe, right, in Paris, drinking my coffee and espresso and looking at this now. So looking here, I can look through. Great. So she was working on a little practice project to get used to how to use Google presentations. The other nice thing about this is that I can add a comment. So on this slide, for example, I wanted to say, great job. I like your information, or whatever I wish to say. And I can add that comment there. And when the student goes back to open this up, they will see that comment. I can also be very specific and highlight something and add a comment if I want to point something out, like you have a spelling error, or grammatical error, or this is a very interesting sentence, that type of thing. So that's a way that you can give direct feedback to your student. Okay, so I'm just going to close that out. So that's a great and convenient way for you to be able to quickly look at student work and have it all in one place. I can assign grades here. Google is very limited. You can't create your own number system here, so I just kind of go either with certain ones, or I might just do 100 or 20 depending on the assignment. I have to input these grades separately into our district system regardless, so it's not really a big deal. It's really, for me, a point of reference. But that is just something to consider, that is limited. Okay, and then I return these here. The nice thing also about this is, and I'm going to move forward to the About section. And in the About section, I kind of just give a general overview, but I wanted to go here. This is the main drive folder for this class for me. So when I click on this, I can see every assignment I've made as a folder. So this is a different way I can view the information. So if I go to this All About Me, which we just looked at, I can open it up and view it this way as well. So you have more than one way. It's a way it's found in your file. We talked about how searching for things can sometimes be complicated, and this is why I use Google Classroom. I would not want to just use my Drive as a submission and way for students, because people do use it that way, which is great, but this is much more convenient and easier as far as management of information. So that's another way that I can go through things. Continuing about the About section, I tend to just use this as reference materials. So again, you can add basic materials if something needs to be reviewed or a reference. I have a new student that came in the middle of the semester. I can start them here. So it's just a separate little area. For me, most of the action takes place in our stream. The last thing that I want to point out about the feature is the difference between that and an announcement and an assignment. So let's look at an announcement. The main difference is, and I can add materials, I can add a link just like in an assignment, but I can't give each student a copy. The options that I can get are basically, and I'll edit it here, would be if I tried to attach something. Let's just go here really quick. Let's say I wanted to add that. Okay. Well, that's just an image. But if I added something, I can't make them their own copy. They can view or they can edit it. So and it's also not an assignment, so I don't want to grade that. So that's just a third kind of option that you can have in here. For students to join this classroom, they simply go to Classroom, the icon when it's brand new, and it will ask them to join the class and ask if they are a student, and you would simply give them this code right here. And then they physically will join the classroom, which is great. So these are the basics of Google Classroom. I encourage you to create one just for practice so you can get used to what things look like and try out with your own students.